crash and burn.
Hey, so tonight I am looking to discuss the 1986 film Thrashin, starring a pre-famed Josh Brolin, who I think by this point he'd already done The Goonies. I think The Goonies came out in 84 or 85. Hey, Google, when was The Goonies released?
In Canada, The Goonies came out on June 7th, 1985.
There it is. So he had already made Goonies, and yet Josh Brolin wouldn't, of course, he wasn't the Josh Brolin that we know today yet. I don't even know if that made sense. Who cares? But yeah, so in this movie, he plays Corey. He's in love with this chick named Christy, but there's a problem. See, Corey, he's part of the crew known as the Ramp Locals. And Chrissy's brother, oh shit, he's the leader of the Daggers. And the Daggers are a badass group of like leathered up skaters that don't fuck around, you know? The Ramp Locals, they build this cool ramp using what money they have, and then the Daggers come and burn that fucking thing to the ground. And it's like the Daggers are so badass. Chrissy's brother, the leader of the Daggers, whose name I can't remember, he actually turns out to be a really cool guy. So I don't know why he just couldn't have been like that from the beginning. I mean, the teenage male ego is a fucking fragile thing. But had he just been cool, we could have accelerated this so much faster and everybody could have got along. So basically, this is the typical thing. I mean, Corey is looking to compete in this big thing and he wants to get with, is it Smash Skates? I think it's Smash Skates or some shit. Smash TV. It's not Smash TV, it's Smash Skates or some shit. They're the big name skateboards. He's got this design already. And the guy says, look, you take the big competition and, you know, you'll get the contract. And so there's all this conflict between the Ramp Locals and the Daggers, and they bump into each other, and there's this problem and that problem. But of course, the main issue is that Christy is the main Dagger, whose name I can't remember, sister, and he doesn't want her with Corey, and there's all this shit. My favorite part about this movie was I loved how there was a Susie and the Banshee shirt. Somebody else was wearing an SST shirt. There was a Vice Squad shirt in this as well. The Circle Jerks, Wild in the Streets, is on the soundtrack. And I felt that was sort of the one place where this movie missed. Because if memory serves, Tony Alva played TA. He was one of the Daggers. And then Lance Mountain, I think, doubled for some of the skating. Steve Caballero doubled for some of the skating. Tony Hawk doubled for some of the skating. So this movie is like super skate punk, but there wasn't as much punk on the soundtrack as I thought that there should have been. This movie fits right somewhere in the middle groove of a semi-perfect 1980s skate film. I wouldn't say it's as iconic as Gleaming the Cube, but the soundtrack for Gleaming the Cube was garbage. So this one felt like it had stood a better chance of having a more punkish soundtrack at least, but it didn't. And I mean, what can you do? Christian Hosoi, too. Remember, that's right, Christian Hosoi doubles for some of the skating in this as well. So I felt that musically this movie was a little under-realized, punk was a little underused, but I did love that somebody actually had an SST shirt on. That was absolutely rad. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's Greg from Bad Religion, that's Greg from a fucking Black Flag's label. They were responsible for putting out so many bands, but back then they were definitely throwing out all of Black Flag's stuff. Well, at least up until the point when the police raided the SST offices and shut them down, and then I don't know. That would be right around this time, too. I can't remember when SST was raided by the cops, but it doesn't matter. They were. But I still thought it was rad that somebody had an SST shirt on. This movie's a lot of fun. It's colorful. I like how Corey has like a red James Dean Harrington that he ends up letting Chrissy wear by the end of the movie. And I believed them as a couple. I believed their little budding romance. I thought it was really cute and fun. I thought the Daggers were cool. I loved that Tony Alva was involved. This movie is awesome. It's flawed. And musically, I felt that there could have been more punk used, given the overall aesthetic of the movie. But yeah, so that's it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over 5 minutes while I discussed the mostly forgotten 1986 skateboard movie called Thrashin'. Like always, if you like this review or you like this movie, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, like always, please don't forget that the world is a much better place because you're in it. I'm going to get out of here. It's starting to get hot. Have a good night.